Hey everybody, I'm Caleb.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Will.
And we are Working Title! Y'all, oh, I just did my leg kicked up. Guys, we're back for Vinland Saga. This is Season 2, Episode 16, I believe.
17.
Great Purpose. I'm pretty sure Uncle Ben or some guy like that said something along those lines, you know what I'm saying?
The rice guy? Great power comes great purpose.
Great purpose and responsibility. That's
brown
the line.
rice makes great responsibility.
Last on, we talked about ending war and slavery. Before that, Rick Grimes bit a man's neck out. That was insane. So, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy Vinland content, because we are all about that show. Leave a comment down below your thoughts on today's episode specifically. Check out the Patreon. You might find some shows over there that you might like. That would be TokyoGhoul and DeathNote, 3-week early access. And we love you. Have a great day. We'll see you in the reaction. Now she gets snatched up.
She's probably hiding him because they got away together.
Oh, right.
Oh. Yeah, she
Damn.
broke him out.
Right. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Unless he's already dead. Like, he didn't make it out. You know what I mean? Because then he got stabbed again. Yeah, literally killed everyone.
Yeah, but for what reason would Gardar leave you alone? That's what I'm wondering.
This is not a great acting job, but
no.
We're trying.
As long as the ball's on the inside behind their back. Circles? Okay.
So where the fuck is he? Is he in the house? With them?
He's here. This is, I mean, that makes sense. The old master is sleeping in the room. I thought they might have moved him because Circle's right over there. Oh my gosh, he's here.
Well, the Circle helped.
Oh my gosh.
And they think they're using her as bait again. Try it again.
You better hope he don't wake up crazy. It was pushed on me. Oh, that one.
Yeah, no, the whole bullshit reason she gave in the beginning, and she totally went back on. Which I get, it's her husband.
Because I love him. Why else? Oh.
That doesn't sound like he's gonna live.
I hope it's not one of those things where the blood like comes out under the bed and they're like, oh, there he is. I have a feeling he's under like Circle's bed, like no joke.
Yeah. Said Circle did help to hide him, so.
That's impressive. He's very fragile. Oh, no, I feel so bad. It's the right thing, but you're gonna die.
Yeah. 1000%.
Like what kind
ガルゼ
of...
ルさんと共に生きるというなら
Oh, dude, I was so sad.
でもあなたは日本の体です
Yeah.
導きは困難なものになるでしょうそれでもやるというなら俺が力になります
Of course you will. Of course you will.
もうそれしか道はありません
Thorfinn, what are you thinking? Talk about time to test his mind on the battle. This is when it's the
それし
time.
か
Yeah.
ない
This is when you gotta do it, man.
俺も力になります二人いれば何か策があ
How
るかも
people
しれない
make things better. That's the only
Yeah.
way to redemption for him.
It's unfortunate that fighting's probably gonna be that way, but that's what you have to do.
Maybe he can be Tor's level, you know, just judo chopping people. No broken limbs or anything. Bro really fell asleep.
今度アルネーズから目を離したら鼻をぶち折るぞ
Oh my god.
はいすみません
And she's gone.
誰だ
Boss, I messed up. She's gone. Oh, there she is.
そろそろお昼の用意を。
Yeah, you're gonna have to feed him too. Slide a little sandwich into
道
the
具持って
cupboard.
って中庭でやれ
It's for the mice. It's for the mice.
常に目立つところにいる
Alright, so what I'll do, I'll throw boiling water on Snake.
Oh damn.
That's horrible.
I mean, you gotta do something.
不憫な者たちだとは思わんかのうヘビよ
Or maybe Svirkle will be the key to helping us.
奴隷とは劣っている者がなるべくしてなるものと人は言うだがわしはそうは思わん奴隷には運がなかったそれだけのことなのじゃ
Yeah, that's very true.
わしもお前も運がなければ奴隷になっていたのかもしれん
手下やられたまんま泣き寝入りしててこの先剣ぶら下げて歩けるかよ
I'm sure you're crying, man. Over those guys. I don't know.
ならば剣など捨てればよいわしの畑をくれてやろう
Wow.
土を耕し命を育ててみ
Give
る
up
Wow.
fighting.
剣を振り回すよりよっぽどなしじ
He can just do that. It doesn't go straight to his son.
ゃわしはもう
His son has his
や
own
る
land.
ことはでき
Okay,
ない
okay.
お前には聖書を読んでもらった借りがあるでな
Yeah, he can.
くだらねえこと言ってんじゃねえよこんな時に誰が野良仕事なんか
There might not be another time to talk about it, man.
はいうんあそこに誰かいますその木の陰に多分やつ
Okay, which one of our boys?
It's gonna
Einar.
be Einar.
Okay.
よし
The decoy.
Einar, the decoy. Hopefully he doesn't get stabbed.
Oh, suck
Cut
it.
in half.
Right.
出た1機2機3機よし全員だ
Game day, Thorfinn.
頼むぞエイナル
Alright. He does look an awful lot like Gardar.
With just no long hair.
Yeah.
大旦那様すいません馬と荷車を拝借しますその代金は必ず働いてお返ししますので
He's like, I'm about to die. Don't even fucking worry about it.
いらんそれよりわしの荷車
What?
に乗せて
Oh,
わし
shoot.
がいれば農場内で人に見とがめられずに
Okay.
済む
Oh, gosh. Okay.
そんな
Okay. Makes sense.
大旦那様を巻き込むわけが
He'll die.
特に巻き込まれておる
I'm already involved.
死の子の言わずさっさと手を貸せ
Let's go, baby.
はいありがとうございます
Let's save a marriage.
ガレザルがよ森に逃げ込む気だぜ
Hey, at least he's a good
あ
runner.
の森の中じゃ
I mean, not much more room to run.
No, but he did well against the horses. Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. Let's go, dog.
Under the bed.
I said it. Of course, it's the only place you can fit a massive man like him.
早いどう見たって重症者の走りじゃん
He's gonna figure it out.
He's always so clever.
アルマそのまま奴を追え
He's gonna...
無理に接近するな後で援軍をよこす
He's going back.
それまでとことん追跡しろ
Oh,
分かったな
fuck. It's gonna be Torfin versus Snake.
It's basically almost a rematch,
の用意
too.
はできてます。急いで南の国境へ。他国へ出てしまえば客人たちも追うのが難しくなる。大旦那様は農場の外れまで同行願います。
承知した。
Got it.
Snorkel is the man.
Oh,
Why is he gassed? He's on a horse.
Because I probably hyped himself up. Okay, maybe he got off the horse?
Did he want to dramatically walk or run back?
Yeah.
And he just got off way too far.
Fuck. Hey, no.
馬の足音がしなかった。
Oh, he did it on purpose. So they wouldn't hear him coming, that's why.
馬を降りて走ってきたのか。
Not for dramatic effect.
I love it.
意識がねえのか気配を感じねえわけだ
We couldn't sense him.
What are you, Goku?
Time to test his strength.
言っておくぞトルフィン交渉の余地は切る
I'd like to see you try.
He probably could do it if he's not at 100%.
追っては3人。だがここにはエリザベル家。
It's been a minute. Can you put the beats on?
かいくぐって孫に一撃。
Let's go!
やんのかトルフィン
Yeah!
やれ仕方ねえかこの際純粋な人助けだ
So it's worth it.
健康振るう大義名分があるそれとも人助けのため
Yeah, you gotta pick one or the other.
かますか本当の戦士へ至る道はどっちか、考える時間はねえぞ
Yeah, you just have to act now.
ほれ目の前
I miss Ascalette so much.
Glad we still get him.
Ghost form.
Oh shit! How did he deflect that? She's like, wow, he can really fight.
This poor guy.
Like, yo,
This
what
poor
the
man. Someone get that guy
A wheelchair.
medieval wheelchair. Yeah, something that strolls on
brand type
wheels.
shit.
Yeah.
Over the boneless crutches.
寝ぼけてて勝てる相手か
Lock it in, baby. Yeah, I know.
Wake up, wake up.
There we go. Come
Get
on.
that fighting stance.
Just like Pop would have done.
He's not using the force. Whoa, what is happening?
Just following what he does.
妙な構えだ槍でも斧でも剣
Oh, his knife stance. That's what it is.
Okay. He's just pretending like he has it. Let's go, dog!
The knife stance.
Love it, man.
I miss those things so much. They're so cool. Man, if you don't fucking team. Dog. What the
Of course.
man? What the
I gotta piss. And now I'm pissed. You know what I'm saying?
That was good. That was good.
Dad, wait.
Oh, that kind of dab. Anyway, guys, this is Vinland Saga. That was Vinland Saga.
This is-
It will be Vinland Saga.
More like Vinland Saga.
What do you say?
I don't know. I was just going until somebody told me to shut up. Really.
Okay.
Hey everybody,
I'm Caleb.
I'm James,
Well,
And I'm Adam.
this was a nice build-up episode. The next episode is going to be absolutely exciting. I'm ready to see the snake
Vitor
Torfin technically V2 fight. We'll see how they go against each other. How the show kind of hinted is that his fighting style is at least reminiscent, or his energy is at least reminiscent of an Askeladd of sorts. So I'm expecting kind of big things from Snake. I don't expect him to be a bum when it comes to this fight. The show has 100% set Snake up to be, kind of a master class when it comes to his ability. Maybe not his his I'd say his lazy nature is his biggest weakness, and as we talked about last week, maybe not the greatest leader yet, but he definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to the hunt, when it comes to the skill of the sword.
Yeah.
And the show still is kind of focusing on him a bit. We even got some insight into his life today with Sverkel.
Yeah.
That he came from somewhere kind of ambiguous and mysterious, like he's on the run from something.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. I kind of thought about it when he was first introduced. His sword has like a weird hilt to it.
Right.
It's got a gold inscription. It's kind of curved. It's not like the typical North European, Scandinavian, UK. It's just like straight sword with like the straight hilt.
Would you have a guess? Do you think you would have a...
Okay, so the only thing, just because it's like Viking era, is just like maybe he traveled to like the Mediterranean or like Turkey, like
Spaniard.
Constantinople, or so either somewhere in the Mediterranean. Whether it would be like, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is because it's a curved sword. I'm not the sword guy, but I just feel like
It's like a sitar.
it's typical. Yeah, not that that's necessarily it is, but it more so like reminiscent of like the Middle East. So we do know Vikings went out there and bodyguards for
Sure.
for kings, and also just traveled the world and had,
looking for riches.
yeah, for riches, whether it was going all the way to Russia or to the Middle East or through the Mediterranean. So
Can't say I know my hilts too well, but Sverkel is very...
yeah, he said it's clearly not from around here, and he's running from something. And I think the fact that he can read is interesting.
He's from he's at least from a good family background or some form of nobility. Something that it's not very common to read.
He also thinks Christianity is kind of BS, so I'm like wondering if he had some or he had some involvement with the church at some point.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not sure. These are just me throwing out guesses. I don't really have a solid footing on any of them, but those are just the things that we know about him. And
that also kind of puts class under his belt, because you could also say it's somebody who's been hearing from the Bible quite a lot, and he hasn't bought into it. So perhaps he's been somewhere where that's like we brought up a couple episodes ago too. Like that's not something that's just given out right now. That is pretty inaccessible. The Bible is what I'm talking about. It's pretty inaccessible at this time period, and it's not just going to your average person. So that also, like you're saying, if he already has an inclination towards it, he might have a background, which means he's placed somewhere that has a heavy amount of that, which could be a number of places.
Yeah.
I don't know where, but we are in the era which even the Vikings are pretty involved in theology and religion.
like Denmark, like Canute and them, they're Christian, so
Right.
like they're living on these lands, so it's not like it's unheard of to be Christian around here.
Right.
And they also mentioned he brought up how am I gonna I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night if I'm just sitting around crying about my fallen comrades when I could go out and get vengeance and kill these people, or kill Gardar specifically. And Spherical's like, just throw away the sword. Just be done with it. You're never going to whatever you're escaping from, you really are never going to get away from if you keep living the life that you're living, seemingly. So,
And then he offered up his farm. He's like, you can have my farm
yeah.
as long as you throw the sword away.
Right. And he just brushed it aside for now. He said, let's not talk about this right now. So, when it comes to the whole running away thing that you're talking about, and the conflict of his men dying, do you think there's some parallel with something that happened in his past? Some failures on his behalf that he's like trying to avoid, and yet the same circumstances keep coming up in a different way, and so it just reminds me of this type of failures.
I feel like that could be the case,
or like his where he lacks.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just he's such a weird but interesting character. Like there's so much, there is a lot of mystery surrounding him, and he does feel misplaced in a way too. I'm curious. I'd like the show to touch on that. I hope it's not to compare this show to a very weak show in comparison, but Vikings just like kind of like bring people on for like cameo sake of like, oh, this guy is that person from history, and okay, bye, like that kind of tool. Yeah. Don't do cameos of historical characters and then like brush them out. Like it'd be cool if we could like, but like I'm not aware of anyone at this time period that would have been involved in farming that's of any significance. So maybe he's not like historical.
I mean, it might not be historical, but he might have a personal journey that is relevant to the time.
I'm jaded from that show. Everybody is somebody of importance.
Yeah, you're right.
Everyone's a cameo of history.
But skewed versions of them.
Skewed versions are not fleshed out.
Yeah, so I guess I probably shouldn't compare that because the show has not done that.
Yes.
Really, except for Canute. But other than that, Ironhide hid her husband
Gardar
with the help of Sverkel, and those two are easily pushing up to be contenders for my favorite characters in this season so far. Both Ironhide and Sverkel.
Yeah.
They never cease to fail in everything I would want for their characters to be doing. She is a loyal wife with the hardest decisions to make. She hurts my heart. I feel so bad for her and her circumstance.
Yeah.
And it's so sad to see too. Like her like of course she wants to like we all say like not fully understanding even Einar, like why would you go to your husband, but it's like of course you're gonna go to somebody that you have just been longing for to be here with you.
And even Spherical said, like, you know, it's like, oh, are slaves just inferior people, like they say? It's like, no, they're just unlucky. And you think about Ironhide's situation and her husband's situation, I mean, like, the luck couldn't have been worse for the two of them, the way everything panned out. And we don't even know necessarily how Gardar got into a situation, whether, like, in battle they lost so he became a slave, or did he find his way into that life post, you know, losing his wife and trying to find his wife.
Right.
But, you know, it's horrible. They both have experienced, like, the horrors of the world. And, you know, Gardar has done pretty bad things and trying to, like, you know, he's like murdered like 10 people at this point. Like a whole family, burned down a whole house and a whole family. Granted, they're slavers and shit people, but these, you know, random warriors who probably aren't good people either, but he's killed all of them as well. And we're going off of like Torfinn's, you know, worldview and ideology at this point of like what's happening. He's doing some really Gardar's walking down a really bad path that, you know, Torfinn is trying to oddly enough, he's trying to aid and abet by making it right for Ironhide specifically and giving them another shot at life. But yeah, you can't blame her for going to free her husband and attempting to live a good life with the new possibility of their new son. So,
I like what you were saying, and like what this show was tackling as well was Spherical, bringing up the idea of like it's their luck that they happen to be in this situation. And a consistent theme with this season so far in a touchy topic when it comes to like we're stuck in a society that's economics are functioning off of slavery, right?
Yeah.
And you could take that as an allegory for any oppressive type of societal structure that you're stuck in, and the idea of even if it is the norm, that is what's going on now, you have somebody like Snake, who, in all honesty, I don't really think he cares what it is. He's just given a job and a bag of coin. He plays the role. He doesn't really care much for it. He's not a politician. He's not somebody who cares about how the world functions in his society. He cares about the bag, and at the end of the day, probably just carrying his own burdens of what he's dealing with. And then you got somebody like Kettle, who is quite an odd and you're definitely an offshoot of what is a norm in the society for sure. Somebody who's dealing with it, but also trying to have some loose space, given his slaves like the chance to come off as more of workers or indentured servants. And then you got people like Sverkel, who is like hyper aware of everything and like knows the immorality of the society that we're currently with. And it's another reason why I love him so much, because he understands that Snake probably doesn't care about this, but he's still like trying to push that envelope with him and be like, look, I know that this is how things are, but just because that's how it is doesn't mean that's like what we should be doing.
Yeah.
And look, the grander world isn't looking at us right now, so it's okay if we have this wiggle room when it comes to these scenarios with people like Arnheid and people like Gardar. And it's a tough situation too, because you got people like Gardar who they don't give a fuck. For lack of a better term, they are not about it at all. There's no pandering to the idea of this at all. So of course he's in the right when he goes and kills the slave owners and he's going after his wife. There's nothing wrong about what he's doing because they have been put in this situation. And it's frustrating because and you could even look at like real world things, real world scenarios of like things that happen that are injustices, and it's like you don't want to get in trouble by the law for things, and you don't want to even encourage. But sometimes there are horrible things that happen. It's like sometimes it's just people struggling trying to live to do stuff,
Yeah.
And so I just
trying to fight back. I mean, like in Gardar's situation, like trying to like what he's doing and murdering people, not necessarily good, but also they're coming at him and they're the immorality that they're enacting and the injustices they're doing on him and his family. Like the only way he can get out of it is by fighting back, like fire with fire at that point.
Yeah, and he's a hard ass. Like he's not going to be doing the mental game of trying to make it work.
Oh yeah.
Like he's not going to play along. He's not the type. So as far as we have seen so far, and even to Arnheid's surprise, like he's not even somebody she can predict at this point. He has a glaze, as she says, over him.
Miserable eyes instead of the confidence he once had.
Right. She had hoped that this dream would function, but now even that's like gone. But I was just the whole reason I was saying all that is I just commend the show for tackling these things in very nuanced ways. It's very fun and clever, and I like what they do. Even if they don't make it the focal point of the show, it's just nice to have that in there as well.
Yeah.
Just for consumer enjoyment. To make their audience think of it.
And you know what's also nice about this show?
What?
Having Askeladd back.
Right. The boy.
Woo! Yeah.
The boy.
It's funny too because it's like, it's good that they bring him back as like a devil in the shoulder, a spiritual advisor, whatever. Like somebody that's still present in Torfinn's mind. To make it interesting for the show, right. Especially for like a lot of people that loved his character. And again, I don't know how like the manga was released. I know people said season 1 was like a prologue to what the actual story was. I don't know how when it got released, if it was like, hey, we got this story, and then later on they released the prologue to give like more context. Okay. You know what I mean?
That'd be wild if they did that.
If they did do it like that, if they didn't and release the prologue first and then started the actual story. Regardless, I think it's good to either keep Askeladd in after he died or like realize Askeladd is a fun character to be playing in the back of Torfinn's mind to then like bring him to life in the actual story. If that makes sense.
And I like that they don't make him function like fully Askeladd, if that makes sense. Because this is Torfinn's imagination of what Askeladd is. So everything that he's saying, it's not like we have some. I know we joke about the Force Ghost Askeladd, but in reality, it's not like it's a sentient Askeladd. It's Thorfinn's manifestation of wisdom coming to him through wiser people.
Yeah.
So there's a tint of Tor's in there. There's a tint of Thorfinn. There's a tint of all the wise counsel he's ever been given, and just things he's absorbed from the world. And he's placed it inside Askeladd, who he probably sees as the wisest character in his life.
Yeah.
So that's cool too, because it's not fully Askeladd.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, because sometimes it would just feel funky if, like in other shows, they do those kind of things, and it just feels like the characters come back to life.
Yeah.
So.
True.
And we got our answer. We got our answer for what Thorfinn will do in these scenarios when push comes to shove. He's gonna do what's best, even if it means going the route he didn't expect for himself. He will fight.
Fight to protect others.
Yeah.
So, that's good. And it gives us, like, gives us something instead of him just having to sit back and watch as, like, the horrors are enacted on his friends and family. Or friends and new family,
It's just like his dad did, though. His dad didn't want to fight until it was, like, the last resort.
Yeah.
Where he had to protect his boat full of kids, basically.
Right. I watched that scene the other day too, just to refresh, because I don't remember what the words had been said during those exchanges, but somebody had like kind of said, "Well, why are you using a sword right now?" And he says, "Because I'm weak." So even in that moment when he was dueling, it's like, because I am weak. Like, I am not a finished product.
Yeah.
Same with Thorfinn. Like, he'll have to keep doing the things that won't make him a true warrior. So perhaps you could say that is like the ever-chasing goal that we won't ever really get to, because who can really fight wars without a sword if people are coming to attack you?
Yeah.
But the end goal is to get to this perfect image that you can't ever really get to, but you do your best to get to.
Yeah.
Rather than you do get it and you're perfect.
True.
Which is just not realistic for humans, nor is it realistic for this show.
But the good news is Thorfinn has lived this whole life that took Tor's years to figure out. Thorfinn's like already there
Right.
at a much younger age, so he's got a lot more room to experiment and hopefully not mess up.
And that's harder too, because he's also not the end of his life. As you said, he's at the start of his life, which is even harder to
Harder
live
for
that
sure.
value at such an early age. Like, this is like he's not even adult age yet. He's not at like full mind development.
Well, he is now.
Is he?
Well, I mean, he might not be 25, but there's been a couple years that passed in this season that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
But even after the time jump.
Even still, he's still starting at such a younger age than Tor's, who wasn't old, but he was definitely.
I mean, he had kids. He had 2 kids at that point. He'd been married. He already had fought. He had fought in the battles as an adult, not as a child like Thorfinn did. So he had a little bit more of a grasp on the world.
He was like a good tasting chicken. He was well seasoned.
True.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. Yeah, that's about it for what I got.
Nice.
Einar's, put him on the track team. Put him on the track team.
He's a track star.
He outran horses, and we'll see if he got to the woods. If he did, put him on the track. Varsity division. He's not a good fighter, but at least he can run.
True.
Yeah, he's not a bad fighter either. He fought those bums.
Yeah, we'll see when he has to get really shaken. So
I want to see him fight Honey Badger and Fox.
yes.
That's something I also want to pay-per-view.
That'll be good. A 2v1.
Next week will be great. Any last thoughts?
Nope.
Y'all, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so you can be here with us when we return inevitably for Vinland Saga. We love you. Have a great day. Punch it.
Yeah.